All right. Hang on 7, perfect. Hi everyone and welcome to our online open events. Tonight's session is for our welcome with our Dean of Higher Education, Michael Walsh, and we'll also cover off quite a lot of information about our estates strategy, so Michael is also joined by our Head of Campus Developments, Kathy Gates. If you do have any questions throughout the event, please pop them in the Q&A box to the right-hand side of your screen, and our team will answer these at the end of the session. Over to you, Michael.
Great, thanks very much, Isabel, and good evening, everybody. As Isabel says, my name is Michael Walsh. I'm the Dean of UCEN Manchester, and with me is Kathy Gates, our Head of Campus Redevelopment. So it's really great that you're able to join us tonight for this session. Probably going to take about 20 minutes or so just to go through some slides to really outline two things to you. One is what is UCEN Manchester? Who are we? Where are we? And why should you come to us? And then importantly, we are planning over the next couple of years some real changes to our campus. We're putting in a huge investment into our campus, particularly in the city centre site, right in the heart of Manchester. And obviously really want to take the opportunity to tell you a bit more about that and what it will mean for you. So just to start off, I know that many of you may live in Manchester already or study around Manchester already. Others will be coming from right across the UK. If you're interested in our theatre school, the Arden, or perhaps the Manchester Film School, or some of our other courses, you may well be in other parts of the country. And you may be asking yourself, why should I study at Manchester? Well, as somebody who's either worked or lived in Manchester for the best part of my working life, it's a fantastic city. As you can see there, it's a city of culture. It's renowned for its music scene, for its very vibrant theatres, for its nightlife, but also for its industrial strength. It's a real powerhouse of industry, and a huge number of inventions and industrial developments have taken place in Manchester. And even now, it's still actually got quite a large manufacturing base, particularly around sort of niche manufacturing and some of the smaller science-based manufacturing. It's been voted the most livable city in the UK for the last 8 years. I'm not quite sure what the most livable city means, but I think it means taking a range of factors into account, one of them being the cost of living. Manchester's right up there. So, you know, all cities obviously have a relative cost, but Manchester actually is up there as one of the ones where, in terms of accommodation and food and just those living expenses, it's pretty good. It was voted the best city in Britain for business in 2019. By Management Today, and I think that really reflects the entrepreneurial spirit that there is in Manchester. There's lots of, particularly around areas like the Northern Quarter, lots of small businesses, little art galleries, little microbreweries, and it's a real sort of hotbed of entrepreneurship and businesses. But also, really importantly, at the moment, it was voted UK's top digital tech city in 2020. And again, I think that builds on that entrepreneurship. It's a city that has really embraced technology in the digital age and cybersecurity and all of those different aspects, and we're very much part of that. So it's a fantastic city, both to live in, but importantly from your perspective, to study in. I'm not going to go through all the different aspects here of the culture around Manchester. I'm sure some of you are very familiar with it. There's over 100,000 students in Manchester, and you know, whole parts of the city are given over to students and student accommodation and student-friendly businesses and sort of opportunities there. More live venues and more music venues than any other city in the UK. Obviously, things are a little bit different at the moment around that. You'll all be aware of where we are and the challenges that we're facing, but I've absolutely no doubt that Manchester will bounce back, and that, as I said, areas like the Northern Quarter and Deansgate and those really vibrant areas, the Village and Chinatown, will really, you know, spring back once we're the other side of this, and I'm sure those venues will really welcome you back with open arms. And importantly, it's a really well-connected city. We've got Manchester Airport, which is obviously just outside the city, 27 million passengers going through to over 210 different destinations, really well connected to cities like Leeds and Manchester by rail, and you know, right in the heart of the northwest, you can get over to Liverpool very quickly. So it's a fantastic city to be a part of, really. In terms of UCEN Manchester, you may be sort of asking, you know, who are we and what do we stand for? We're a fairly small higher education provider. We're linked with the LTE group, and we're actually part of the Manchester College, which many of you will be familiar with already. It's one of the biggest FE colleges in the country. But UCEN Manchester is our separate specialist HE area. So as I say, we're sort of relatively small, but that means that we can really focus on you as an individual and really meet your needs. So our vision and mission is that we believe in making degree education accessible to all. I've never believed that degrees should be something that only a select band of people should be able to go on to. For me, it's something that everybody should have access to. We've got a really inclusive and diverse student population, which reflects all walks of life around Manchester. Manchester, again, is a very inclusive and diverse city, and we absolutely reflect that, and we welcome people regardless of their background or their beliefs. And we really specialise, as I said, in seeing each individual for their own talents and helping them to grow these. One of the really important things about UCEN Manchester is you absolutely will not just be another face in the crowd. We don't have big lecture theatres with 200 students sitting in them and one lecturer at the front, or people using podcasts to learn or things like that. Our class sizes tend to be in 15, 20 students, so we can really focus on you, really get to know you. Our personal tutors will get to know you and support you, and our kind of learning, our style of learning is much more practical. So a huge number of our courses are very practically based. There are obviously theoretical elements to it, so you will be in lectures, but a huge part of it is actually getting involved, real life briefs, doing real work for some of those businesses that I mentioned in and around Manchester. Just a couple of sort of important things to point out to you on this one in terms of sort of what we stand for. Last year we had what's known as a Quality and Standards Review that was carried out by an organisation called the QAA, the Quality Assurance Agency, which is kind of like Ofsted for higher education. Most people are familiar with Ofsted, and we got an absolutely glowing report from them right across the board, the highest possible ranking that they could give us in terms of our support for students and our engagement with students, and actually how much we listen to students. And that's something that we're really proud of. Students will feed back to us and give us ideas about what to change, and we've got a really good reputation for acting on that, and that was one of the things that the QAA recognised. You may also be familiar with the National Student Survey, the NSS, which rates student satisfaction, and I'm really pleased to say that last year we achieved 83% overall student satisfaction, which is an increase on the year before, and is actually a higher rate of satisfaction than many of the other providers around Manchester. So if you are thinking of studying at Manchester, or in fact any HE provider, I would suggest just having a look at their NSS scores and just see where they stand, because that's students who vote for that. That's the students who are giving their feedback and saying how satisfied they are with the provider. So to get 83% was something that we're really proud of. There's also something that you may have heard of called the Teaching Excellence Framework, the TEF, and we were awarded silver in that. That's a gold, silver, bronze standard. We were awarded silver, but although we were pleased with that, we're absolutely committed to achieving gold. And in the last graduate outcome survey, which actually is a couple of years old now, but it's the most recent one that's been published, 95% of our students went on to work or further study within 6 months of graduating. And again, that's something we're really proud of, because as I said earlier, many of our courses are geared towards employment and developing those practical skills. But we never stand still, we're always developing, and one of the things that I'm going to talk to you about in a moment is our new city centre campus, which is going to be opening in September 2022, which, although it may seem like quite a while away now, it's really important that you understand what that means for you. If you're going to be joining us in September 2021, which I think obviously most people who are taking part in this virtual open week will be doing, then you will almost certainly be moving. Your provision will almost certainly be moving while you're with us, unless you're doing a one-year course, and most of our students do 2 or 3 year courses. So you may have the first year in one location, but then actually move in the second year and in your third year if you're on a 3-year degree. So it's really important that you understand that and what the moves might mean for you. And I think crucially for us, we really want you to understand the facilities that we're going to be offering when you do come to us. So we're investing £130 million in a new campus. That's all still going ahead, by the way. COVID's not sort of delayed that or caused any issues for that. That's still going ahead. And for those of you who might know Manchester a little bit, that is just near Manchester Victoria train station. It's near the Manchester Arena. So if you're not too sure where that is, if you just Google and look at a map of Manchester and find, as I say, Manchester Victoria Station, it's literally a 5-minute walk from that. So it's right in the heart of the city. and that will allow us to review our offer, improve our offer, and develop a curriculum that meets you. And just before I go on and tell you a little bit more about those campus changes, it is worth just mentioning, while I've mentioned curriculum, who actually awards our degrees. We don't award our own degrees, very few college-based providers do. But all of our degrees are actually validated and awarded by one of 3 top universities, either Sheffield Hallam, Manchester Metropolitan University, or the University of Huddersfield. So although you're studying in that smaller, more personal environment with absolutely the right facilities for you, your degree will be awarded by a top university. So we really think that offers the best of both worlds. So in terms of the changes, I'm just going to go through these relatively quickly and outline where our different provision will be moving to. So the first changes are actually coming in summer 2021. So for some of you, if you are enrolling with us in September 2021, some of these changes will have already taken place. So you'll actually get the benefit of the things that are happening now. So most of the changes that are coming in summer 2021 are going to be based on our Openshaw campus, which is quite near the Manchester City football grounds, sort of over in what will be sort of the southeast of the city, really. So some of the things that we're putting there in our new campus, this isn't the campus itself isn't new. We've had the Openshaw campus for some years, but we're investing a significant amount of money in redeveloping it. And what you've got now are some artists' impressions of how the campus will look and what the facilities will be like that you'll be studying in. So if you're studying health and care, we're going to be putting in a brand new health suite with a state-of-the-art hospital ward, an infectious disease area, which is obviously quite topical for us at the moment, and a care room. And there's also going to be a fully functioning teaching and training nursery space to really give you the opportunity to experience in a sort of real world environment what working in health or in childhood and youth studies is like. So if you're coming to us to do one of our high national certificates or diplomas in health and care, that's where you'll be studying. We're also developing some fantastic new sports facilities. So we do foundation degrees and then top-up degrees in sport and exercise health and public services. So we're developing a new sports centre. That's the sort of 2-storey building that you can see on that image, with obviously the new 4G pitches for football, netball, basketball, etc. And the facilities in that are going to be absolutely fantastic. The gym and all the equipment that goes along that way, just what you'd expect in a high-performing university. Also Openshaw, that's where our construction and built environment courses are based. So again, we're redeveloping some of our facilities for that. So if you're coming to study building services or on-site construction and design, then again, you'll really benefit from those facilities. So that's what we're doing at Openshaw. And as I say, all of those will be in place in just over a year's time. However, the year after that is when we're making that big move into that city centre campus. And this is the building, as I say, that's just near the arena. So this is the inside of the building. So this is opening September 2022. Don't have a name for it yet. It's so new that we haven't even come up with a name for it yet. So we're just calling it for now our city centre campus. And this is an internal view. That sort of gold box in the middle is what we call our jewel box theatre. So if you're studying performing arts in HE, then that's going to be based in there as well. I should mention the city centre campus is really split into 2. Half of it is higher education, so UCEN Manchester, and the other half is the Manchester College, but there'll be separate entrances, and all of the UCEN Manchester facilities will only be accessible to higher education students. So if you're here as a higher education student, you've got your own dedicated space that, as I say, other students who are doing other courses won't be able to access. And we're creating a very different feel in the 2 different parts of the building, because we want to recognise that obviously higher education is a little bit different to A-levels or vocational courses. So some of the provision that we're offering in that city centre campus, I mentioned the Jewel Box Theatre. So this is a view of the inside of that. So the Arden School of Theatre, which is a nationally renowned performing arts school that we operate, will have a studio theatre plus performing arts spaces. So there's the main Jewel Box Theatre, but there's a separate studio theatre as well. So we're really creating some fantastic theatre space. And particularly important from the point of view of the Arden is that this stage is going to be really large, because we know that's what students need when they're learning and studying those courses. Also, the Manchester Film School is another really well-known part of our provision that many of you might be interested in. So we're building a fantastic new film studio there. It's a double height studio. It's large enough, as you can see, to get a car in. There's doors at the back that open up so you can bring vehicles in there. So if we're doing filming around that, then we don't need to go off and do that off-site. We can do all of that on our building. 5 edit suites. And a state-of-the-art Foley suite. So again, fantastic facilities there that I know the film school staff and students are really keen to get into. We also offer makeup artistry and special effects. They're currently at our Fielden campus, but they're going to be moving into the new building as well. And again, fantastic new, really well kitted out equipment for them. Also, all of our digital suites are moving there, so our computing, our digital media, 3D design, graphic design is going to be moving into there as well. So there'll be, brand new Macs and brand new spaces there for staff and students to use. I mentioned the Arden, but we also offer other performing arts courses. So we're going to have 6 double height professional multi-purpose studios with a semi-sprung harlequin floor. I'm not even entirely sure what a semi-sprung harlequin floor is, but I know performing arts teachers tell us that that's a really great investment for them. And also 9 rehearsal rooms with full PA systems, 6 recording studios, 4 Mac suites running state-of-the-art industry software, and we've even got a separate DJ studio for music students. So we're really keen to focus on the creative arts and the performing arts. We think that's what Manchester really needs, whether that's film, whether it's dance, whether it's media. So we're creating a real hub in the centre of the city. One of the things that we're really keen to develop, and we do this already, is for the different parts of the curriculum to work together. So our film school use the actors from the theatre school, our musicians might accompany the dancers. So it's really important to bring all those different areas together, and this city centre campus will allow us to do that really seamlessly. We've also got an art studio, or we will have an art studio with 8 specialist studio workshops, and we're putting in special light wells in the roof so that the light really floods into that art studio and creates a fantastic environment for our budding artists. So those are the main curriculum areas, but as well as that, we're also offering a range of additional facilities. Again, we really want to create a higher education feel and really make you feel comfortable and feel that you're in really a mini university. That's absolutely what we're trying to create here. You know, we want to have that university feel, but we want to keep it small, we want to keep it personal and really focus on the facilities that you need. So there's going to be an on-site restaurant that our students are going to run. I've already mentioned the theatre and the performances there. There's going to be a bar that's just for use by UCEN Manchester students, silent study areas, etc, etc. So that's what the entrance is going to look like. That's the entrance that's just for higher education students. As I mentioned before, there's a separate entrance for further education students. And those are just some images showing you the inside of the HE area. So the restaurant, the bar there, which as I mentioned is exclusively for HE students. That's the HE Learning Resource Centre that you can see in the corner there. So again, just to give you a feel really for what the building's going to look like. So just as by way of a recap, the main areas that are going to be moving into the city centre are the Arden School of Theatre, Computing, Creative Arts and Digital Media, Makeup Artistry and Special Effects, Manchester Film School, Performing Arts and Music. So it's really important. The reason why I'm emphasising that so much, as I mentioned before, if you start a course with us and it lasts for 2 years or more, you will be moving into that campus. So if, for example, you're interested in joining the film school, at the moment that's based at our Fielden campus, but that will be moving probably halfway through your course to that city centre campus. So it's really important that you understand that before you commit. Clearly, we really, really want you to come, and we think that the move to the city centre is going to be a really positive thing for you. But I'd hate anyone to come along and think, oh, I'm going to Fielden for the next 2 years, or I'm going to be based at the Northern campus for the next 2 years, and then suddenly halfway through the course they find that they're going to a different site. Manchester's not a massive city, so in terms of actually, is the city centre campus going to be nearer to where I'm staying or further away? There won't be a huge amount in it, but it's just really important that all of our students who are applying to come here in September 2021 understand that these changes are going to happen and that they may well impact upon you. Why are we doing it? Well, the aim of this new city centre building is to provide education for 1 million Mancunians. We've worked out that over the sort of projected lifetime of the building, We expect over 1 million Mancunians to go through that building and to be educated. Clearly, we want to attract people from right across the country, as I mentioned, and in fact even internationally, and we do that at the moment. But we're very much a Manchester-based provider, and we absolutely want to provide that for local people. We feel that there's a bit of a gap in the higher education provision in Manchester at the moment, and that's the thing that we're aiming to fill. So that's our investment. It's a key part of Manchester's future. We're really aligned to the industrial strategy in Manchester and to what the Manchester City Council are trying to achieve, and really providing the skills that the city needs. So that's absolutely what this building is all about. So I think I've probably spoken enough there. Hopefully that's given you a bit of information that you need, and hopefully that might help you to make a decision to come along and see us. It's a real shame that you can't come and see some of our facilities in the flesh, but hopefully, obviously, not too far distant, you'll be able to do that again, and you will be able to follow on our website. We're posting regular updates about the building work and how that's coming along and how it's shaping up, and we'll be posting regular images alongside that as well. So hopefully, you'll be able to sort of keep up to date with that and see what we're doing. But unless Kathy wants to add anything, I'll pause there and throw it open for any questions from anybody.
Well, are you going to say something, Kathy?
I was just going to say hi to everybody. Just that I'm Kathy Gates, I'm head of campus redevelopment. So all of the buildings that Michael has shown you and the new exciting projects that we've got all are going through my team. So we are working with the current students and the current staff to make sure that the buildings that we are building for the future are the very best they can be and have the state-of-the-art equipment and facilities going forward. So it was just really to say that.
That's a really important point, actually, Kathy. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it's important for people to know that this isn't just something that we think students want. As you say, we're consulting very widely with staff and students, getting their input on things, all the design of the building. And it's, you sort of made me think there, as people probably know, our sort of strapline is Find Your Future, but Kathy's really responsible for building our future. So she's doing a fantastic job there, and I'm sure we'll all get the benefits of it in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, fab, thanks. So we have had a couple of questions.
Okay.
So I'll just read them out. So first one, I presume this one is in reference to our Openshaw site. Will all students have access to the sporting facilities, or will these only be for those who are studying in them?
Do you want me to take that one, Michael?
Yeah, I want to take that, thanks.
So the facilities that we're building at Openshaw, obviously there are, within the sports building, there's a sports gym, a sports hall, 3G pitch. There are plans to open up the gym and the aerobic studio and the sports hall to students and staff, although that hasn't been bottomed out as such at the moment. We are still looking at how we do that, how we facilitate that at the moment. The 3G pitch will be open for community use as well as student use, so that will probably be in the evenings, but there's nothing then to stop students actually using that pitch as well at the same time.
Thanks.
I think just to add to that, from my experience, and as Kathy says, this is something we're working through, but usually obviously the curriculum comes first. So if there are sports lessons that we need to put in there, or sports activities, they'll come first. But if we can then open up those facilities at lunchtime or in the evening or at the weekends, as Kathy says, then we'll absolutely endeavour to do that.
Thanks for that, Michael. Our next one is, will new facilities mean new courses?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're always reviewing our provision, and we change it every year. I mentioned earlier our different partners, Sheffield Hallam, Manmet and the University of Huddersfield, and we also offer higher nationals that are awarded by Pearson. So we're constantly talking to them about new provisions. So just to give some very quick examples, I mentioned the Arden, our theatre school, which has got quite a good range of degrees, but one of the things that we feel is missing at the moment is something around technical theatre. So there's people who really want to learn about the behind the scenes thing, whether that's wardrobe, whether that's lighting, whether it's the sound. And the main reason, to be honest, why we haven't offered that before is we just haven't had the facilities to really make it that practical course. I said earlier, we really like our courses to be practical and hands-on. Now that we're going to have the theatres there, that's something that we're looking at developing. We're also looking at our offer for art. Again, we don't think we've got that quite right at the moment, and these facilities will give us the chance to review our art offer. And just another one to mention is photography. We're currently writing a brand new degree in conjunction with the Open Eye Gallery in Liverpool. And again, in the new building, we're going to be putting fantastic photography facilities in there. So the aim is that the degree will be written in such a way that we can use those. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, new. What was the question? New facilities should absolutely provide new courses. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Lovely. I don't know if you want to talk any more on industry partners. We've probably not covered that off within the presentation as yet, Michael. I don't know if you want to kind of look back to that about who some of our industry partners are and what the benefit is.
We work with a range of people. I mentioned Open Eye Gallery, who we're developing provision with. There's also media companies around Manchester that we use. Our film school do a lot of work with sort of small independent businesses. We get people in freelancing for us. We get live briefs. So as I say, if it's like graphic design, we design things there. And I think it's really important that we build on that. It's something that we're keen to develop further, but we work really closely with a range of sort of mainly smallish providers around Manchester. There's a theatre one which the name escapes me now.
Contact
so Isabel to remind me. Contact. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Contact Theatre again, the Arden work with, particularly in our theatre and performance course. So we're really keen to build on those relationships, and really it's a bit of a two-way thing actually. Our students get the chance to go and do, whether it's work experience or just go in and do visits and live briefs, but also we find it works the other way around. Those businesses know that if they get a student from us, they know what they will have gone through. They know the sorts of qualifications they will have obtained, and it's almost like I wouldn't use the phrase "try before you buy," but it gives them the chance to sort of work with students, and then if an opportunity does arise once the students have left, and they've already done a good piece of work for them, then they've got a great chance of securing employment with them. But again, through the new building, that's something we're really keen to develop even further.
Yeah, and Kathy, you might be better talking on this as well, but we do also have Click Studio as part of the new building, which is kind of like a community-facing provision, isn't it? Would you like to add to that, Kathy? Not to put you on the spot.
No, I will do. So the Click Studio is going to be based on the first floor of the new city centre campus. And this is a studio where people can come in and give you a brief. So as Michael said before, we have people, we work with companies and small sole traders who, for example, need a creative digital plan pulling together or a marketing campaign pulling together. And what they tend to do is come into the Click Studio and give our students a live brief to work through. And then those students take that brief right through to the end result. So if somebody wanted a marketing campaign, there'll be people from creative and digital. There could even be something from film, or some people from film or performing arts that will get involved in pulling together a marketing strategy for a company.
Yeah, I think that explains it really well. And just looping back to one of the sessions we've had earlier as well today, we did actually have our one of our graphic design students talking about the fact that kind of full circle, Click Studio is currently undergoing a rebrand, which is being done by our graphic design students. So they're looking at that element of it as well. So it is really a key part of our curriculum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just moving back to, we've got a couple of questions around accommodation. So we've got one here. As far as accommodation is involved, is there any way of us knowing where other students are studying similar subjects are staying? So Michael, I don't know if you want to take that one.
Yeah, that's a really good question actually. I'm not sure if we don't offer our own accommodation. We don't have student halls ourselves, and we're not planning to do that. But we have a relationship with Manchester Student Homes, which is a sort of business that's been established by the University of Manchester, and they help all our students find accommodation. So sometimes they are in accommodation with students from Manchester Met and other providers around the city. Whether or not they can sort of identify, well, actually, these students are doing that course as well? I'm not too sure, to be honest, but it's something we could certainly find out about.
Yeah, we can definitely find out about that. What I would say is once you've applied, we do pull you into that kind of, obviously do regular updates to you and have lots of keep warm activity to just kind of make sure that you're preparing for uni in the right way. So as part of that, we do run applicant open days, which hopefully we'll get to do some of them on campus, but if not, we will run them virtually in kind of a similar fashion to this. But those always are a really good chance for students to meet the other applicants, see who else might be joining them on the course, and a lot of our students do use that as an opportunity to swap details, have a chat, and work out, you know, it might be that they're getting shared accommodation together or something like that. But I would say those kind of friendships do start before you even come onto campus. That's a bit of the nature of what we have to offer, with it being a bit smaller as well.
Absolutely, and I think, Isabel, I think I'm right in saying that later on this week there'll be a talk from our Future You team, and again they've got those links to Manchester Student Homes. So if anyone wanted to find out more about that and about the accommodation and how to contact them, I'm sure that talk could be really useful for them. Yeah,
we'll pop details of that in the chat shortly as well, so thanks for that. We've got one more question, which is on accommodation again. So just if anybody does have any more questions, please pop them in the chat just before we finish up. But again, just what would you recommend doing about accommodation if they are moving campuses?
Yeah, and it is the case that at the moment, some of our students, their accommodation is quite close to the campus that they're at. Mainly that's through what tends to happen, as it does with a lot of universities, is that our first year students will find accommodation through us, so they're the students who will often use Manchester Student Homes. But then if they're here for a second or third year, as you mentioned, Isabel, they might get together with a small group of friends and go into just, you know, private accommodation and rent it that way. And we find that when they do that, that's when they tend to want to be closer to where they're based. So I know some of our film school students, for example, have got accommodation quite near our Fielding campus. But as I say, I think the best starting point for any sort of accommodation queries is that Future You provision. Future You, by the way, for those who aren't aware, it's our sort of umbrella organisation for all the support that people might want. So whether that's financial support, whether it's questions about housing and accommodation, whether it's you know, students want to know you know, if they need support while they're here, if they've got dyslexia or other things that they might need support with, then Future You is our sort of one-stop shop to do that. So they're definitely the people to link in with, and as Isabel said, the details are on our website already, but I definitely recommend that if you want to find out more about that, do look out for that presentation.
Yeah, thanks for that, Michael. I think that probably ties in nicely with us finishing up anyway. Obviously, if you do have any other questions, you can email us anytime on our inquiries email via our website. We'll pop that on the chat as well, so you do have it. But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Michael and Kathy. It's been a really informative session and great to chat through the exciting new developments that are in the works. As Michael said, we do have Future You support drop-ins running both tomorrow and Thursday, so they're from 5 till 7 each of those nights, and you can just pop in, ask questions, obviously taking place virtually, but our team are really fantastic and they're really good. We'll happily spend that one-to-one time with you and talk through your personal circumstances to make sure you've got the right support in place that you need, and that might be anything from application right through to graduation at the end of the day. If you would like to apply for any of our 2021 entry courses, you can visit our website anytime. You can also find all of our courses on UCAS as well. If you just search UCEN Manchester when you go on there, we'll pop all this information then in the chat box. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Michael, Kathy, have you got anything you'd like to say to finish up? Or
no, just thanks everyone for the time, and really hope that we get to see you in September 21, and that you know, you're looking forward to coming to us and really taking advantage A, of what we already offer, but B, those fantastic facilities that Kathy's going to build for us all.
No pressure.
Brilliant. Thanks very much both.
Thank you.
Bye.